So welcome back, and today I'm just going to be going over kind of the status of my 335 build, which I'll show you guys in a second. But first we're going to do kind of numbers, parts, and what my goals are for the build. So starting off, we have a 2007 BMW 335i E90, so it's the 4-door in sapphire black metallic. Basically what we're going to be doing is taking that car and trying to get it to around 700 to 800 wheel horsepower. So the spec sheet is we have a stock top end. The bottom end is going to be a closed deck block, which I already have, forged rods and pistons, the 2-pin crank hub, that way I don't spin the crank. And for boost, we have a Precision 6266, but I'm looking to upgrade to a slightly bigger turbo because those max out around 800 horsepower, I believe, at the crank. So if I got to around 700 with that turbo, I'd be really pushing it. So I'm probably going to try to go for a 60 mil or 64 mil or a 67 mil turbo. That way I have a little bit more headroom. So like I said, we're not maxing everything out. For the fueling system, I have two Walbro 450s. I'm looking to go with the Motive port injection controller, the Reflex, and I'm looking to go with the Black Market Parts kind of port injection kit. So that'll come with the fuel rail. I'm gonna get some around 750cc injectors, I believe. Like I said already, I'm gonna try to go full E85 with that setup. I should be safe around 7 to 750 wheel horsepower. So that's kind of what I'm trying to aim for. So now I'll go show you guys the car. So this is the motor here. Basically what I was doing right now is drilling and tapping these little ports here because they go down to your intake manifold. They start here, they run through this little tube down into here. And basically, if you run port injection on these motors, because of the way these are set up into the intake manifold, fuel will go through, up into there, wash out your oil, and then you'll have a really bad time. So what you wanna do is take a drill and tap set, thread those holes, get a plug, put it in there, make sure that it seats flush so that your valve cover gasket, doesn't have any leaks. And then you should be good against that issue. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. I got all those drilled, tapped, and they're covered up now so no debris gets in there. I'm just kind of waiting on my valve cover to get here, and then this will hopefully finish getting put together. Like I said, I got to get the exhaust manifold on, turbo, I got to get that on here, and then put this in the car, which I'll show you now. Just doing a quick little walk around. I'm on TSWs. I forget the name of the wheels specifically, but they fit pretty good. I'm on Federal 595s all around. Going under the hood, it's a big mess of wires right now. I do have the BMS intakes just for sound and kind of cooling. But over here you can see that I've had kind of a heat issue with the hot side of the turbo, so I'll have to address that. I did go and clean up the subframe. It was covered in oil from the previous kind of build. And over there I have my fuel line that was still left over from the Helix overdrive that I had previously. But just taking a look around the car, it's not perfect. There are some kind of things on the window trim. It was blacked out and it's starting to peel, but just going around the car, it's a decent build. It's more of a sleeper if anything, so yeah. So this is the interior of the car. As you can see, it's a 2007. It's been someone else's daily for a while, so there's a lot of little scratches. You can see like the trim is starting to peel off a little bit, kind of how these all do. But basically what I've done in here so far is I've wrapped a couple things in carbon fiber. I've had some little carbon fiber overlays for certain things, like up here on the dash. Just kind of cheap little things, just kind of cover up the messed up trim. But the biggest thing I've done so far is right here. I wrapped this entire trim piece in suede, and I wrapped this piece down here in suede as well. The interior is a mess, and there's kind of some string here because I did do a steering wheel cover for this. This is one of the stitch-on ones. So as you can see, this steering wheel isn't the sport one, so the rimming around it is a little bit thinner, so the steering wheel cover fit a lot looser than it would have in an M Sport steering wheel, but it still works pretty well. It doesn't really have a whole lot of play in it, but stitching job wasn't terrible. It took me a couple hours from start to finish, but I tried to get it the best I could. It adds a new feel to the car. I like the little red stripe here because I did the little diamond start stop button right there. But yeah, I just tried to do little odds and ends here and there to kind of clean the car up a little bit. There are a couple things in here that I do still have to clean up. The radio is popped out right now because the fiber optic cable got cut at some point by the previous owners, and so I'm trying to work on fixing that so my radio will work again. One last little thing before I leave out of here, I did get the e-brake handle cover in carbon fiber, and I got this little center console piece, which is really nice. I got also the door handle covers in carbon fiber for the front and the rear, just because the rear ones are starting to get sticky. I figured I might as well, you know, do all of them in carbon fiber just to kind of clean it up a little bit. So yeah, that's the car and the motor and kind of the build as of now. As I get things done, I'll post little updates, but I'm gonna try to keep as much of this build on YouTube as possible. That way I can keep track, and that way you guys can kind of follow along with it. So if anything changes, I'll let you know, but the next video should be me putting the motor in the car once I get the valve cover in the mail. And yeah, I'll see you then.